You ever see a brand new airport terminal open, but the baggage system is a total disaster? Or a billion-dollar tech launch that's just full of glitches? Well, it's usually not one single catastrophic failure. Nope, it's often 1,000 tiny little misconnections. Today, we're going to dig into the framework that's designed to stop that kind of chaos dead in its tracks: interface management.
I mean, we've all seen the headlines, right? A new stadium, a high-speed rail line, some massive software rollout. They all start with this incredible vision, but so often they just end up as a tangled mess. So what is the common thread here? Why does this keep happening over and over again?
You know the story. Suddenly, the project is 6 months behind schedule. The budget has, somehow doubled. And you've got teams just burning the clock, redoing work they thought was already finished. But here's the thing. This isn't just bad luck. These are all symptoms of a single, often hidden flaw in the system. And there it is. The problem almost always lives at the seams. It's that exact point where the electrical team's wiring has to meet the wall built by the construction team, or where the data from one piece of software has to flow perfectly into another. These connection points are called interfaces, and when they fail, believe me, the whole project can start to fall apart. The good news is there's a way to get ahead of this. It's a formal, really systematic process called an interface management framework. The best way to think of it is as a dedicated rulebook for the entire project, a master plan designed specifically to make sure every single one of those connection points fits together perfectly. So what does that actually mean in the real world? Well, the formal definition is right here, but the core idea is this. You stop hoping the pieces will fit together, and you start actively engineering the connections. You have to identify them, record them, monitor them, control them, and then, when the job is done, you formally close them out. It's a complete life cycle approach. And the most important word here is dynamic. This is not a checklist you make on day one and then just forget about. Projects change, they evolve, new connections pop up, old ones get modified. A truly strong interface management process is a living, breathing system that adapts right along with the project itself. Now, to make this whole thing work, everybody on the project needs to be speaking the same language. This framework sets up a really clear set of terms, of roles, and a hierarchy so there's absolutely no confusion about who's responsible for what. So let's break down the building blocks of that system. It all flows in a really logical order, from the big picture all the way down to the tiny details. You start with the parties. Those are the teams involved. Then you define their scope package, basically what each team owns. Only then can you pinpoint the specific interface point, that exact connection between them. And finally, you lock it all down in an interface agreement. That's the deal. And inside this structure, two really important roles pop up. Just think of it like a simple conversation. You've got the requester, who is the lead party. They're the one who needs something. They're asking the question like, hey, I need to connect this pipe right here. What are the exact specs? Then you have the supplier, or the support party. That's the team that has the answer or provides the actual connecting piece. It's a really clear two-way street of responsibility. Now, these connection points, these interfaces, they come in two main flavors. You've got your hard interfaces. These are the physical things you can actually go out and touch, like a steel beam meeting a concrete column. And then you have soft interfaces. This is all about the exchange of crucial information, like engineering drawings or software data. The system has to track both, because a failure in either one can bring a project to a screeching halt. Okay, so we've got the players and the types of connections. Now let's see how this process actually unfolds. We're going to follow the journey of a single interface point because every single one has its own life cycle, from just an idea all the way to completion. This journey basically has 4 clear phases. First up is assess, where you are proactively hunting down every single potential connection point. You want to leave no surprises. Then you define them by creating those formal agreements we just talked about. Next step is execute. This is usually the longest phase where all the real-time management and communication happens. And finally, close out, which is that critical step of formally signing off that, yes, this connection is 100% complete and correct. Now, during that really busy execute phase, you absolutely need a single source of truth to keep everything straight. And that tool is called the interface register. Think of it like the project's central nervous system, or a master spreadsheet for every single connection. It's a living document that shows you the status of everything in just a glance. And here's a super simple look at what that register might look like. See? Each row is one unique connection. You've got the requester, the supplier, the dates, the status. Now, look at that second line. Data 002. Team C needs that data by November 15th, but Team D is forecasting they won't have it until the 20th. Boom. That 5-day gap immediately flags this task as at risk. This is what real-time visibility actually looks like. So this brings up the million-dollar question, right? What do you actually do when you're in that at-risk scenario? A rigid, inflexible system would just break. But a good interface management framework has a process for handling exactly this kind of change. And this right here is where the system really proves its worth. The process isn't about pointing fingers, it's about negotiation. The supplier flags the delay and proposes a realistic new date. But, and this is key, it's not official until the requester reviews the impact and formally agrees to it. Only then does the register get updated. That at-risk flag can now become on track, but against a new achievable deadline. It's a system built on communication, not on commands. So, after all that process, what's the real-world result? I mean, why does all of this really matter? Because putting this kind of framework in place, it's not about creating more paperwork. It's about fundamentally changing how teams work together to make success way more likely. And here is the payoff. Most importantly, you stop those tiny, everyday misalignments from snowballing into project-killing disasters. You create crystal clear accountability so there's no finger pointing. You slash the risk of having to do expensive rework, and you get a formal audit trail for every single connection decision. It's all about controlling the small details so you can protect the big picture. So, as we wrap this up, I want you to take this idea and apply it to your own world. It doesn't have to be a skyscraper. It could be the handoff between your marketing and sales teams, or maybe the link between two software tools you use every single day. What's one connection point in your world that's causing friction? And do you think a clearer agreement could make all the difference?